Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Monday, the day after the Thanksgiving holiday. I hope that everybody had a good time. I certainly know that I did, and so we had a bit of a pullback on Friday, and I want to kind of get into this a little bit and show you kind of what happened, at least to my portfolio. I was stopped out of a lot of positions, and I don't know, but I'm kind of, even though we're still in a confirmed uptrend, I'm still a little bit skeptical about the market direction right now. And I'm just thinking that, hey, it might be we might be getting to a point where it's rolling over. So just don't know kind of what the situation is there. Let me get to the next. Oops, let's get to the next slide here. For some reason I can't. This is a new feature. Let's see if I can make it. There we go. Okay, this is the VIX here, and I kind of wanted to kind of really show you this. By the way, if you're looking on TikTok, you can see all these charts very easily, but you do have to go to this address on Bitly. But anyways, this chart that I have now is a chart of the VIX, and as you can see, we definitely had a spike there. So that's telling me that something may be getting ready to happen. So we just don't know kind of what's going on. But I definitely think that it's time to get a little bit more into cash and be a little bit more careful here. Just as it just seems to be, we may be topping here. Just don't know kind of what the situation is. Just want to show you the chart of the S&P 500. We did pull back on Friday. We're pulled up again. It's not really a test of the 40-day line, but just it seems like this uptrend is getting a little bit fragile. And there was news, of course, on the new COVID variant that may be, they may be locking down hard again. So it's one of those things where we kind of have to be very careful about initiating new positions right now. I've been taking profits, and I think that you want to protect your profits, push your stop losses up so that if there is a pullback, you won't round trip some of these gains that we've all gotten. Here's the Nasdaq. It sort of did the same thing as the S&P, sort of bouncing. They're not quite at the 40-day line, but up there a little bit from that. This is looking stronger today. We had a strong indication on Apple. Apple pulled up very nicely. It does appear that some of the bigger funds, the strength in Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, I think it's masking some of the overall weakness in the Nasdaq. So we have to be a little bit careful here. Just keep a close eye on it. Don't overcommit to any of the positions right now. I'm mostly in cash right now. The Dow Jones was hit hard on Friday. It seems to be rebounding. It pulled below the 40-day line. That's a critical that's a critical line for for the Nasdaq, because that's sort of where that's for the Dow. That's sort of where that's kind of the long line in the sand. Let's see if it can hold it. Hopefully, it can hold it. If we start to see weakness in this market, we'll probably start to see it first in the S&P 500, and then in the Dow, and then finally in the Nasdaq. But we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. Here's the allocation in the small portfolio. As you'll notice, there's quite a few less stocks here. Basically, I'm still in Ford. I'm still in Rambus, which has done well, and also in Apple. Apple has done the best today, and that kind of gives you a breakdown. As you can see, I'm mostly in cash here. I was stopped out of quite a few positions. Matter of fact, I was stopped out of 3 positions in the small portfolio. Shoe Carnival, which I had held for a long time, I did sell that for a 7% gain. That was my only gainer out of all of them. I was NXP Semi. I was stopped out of that. I suffered about a 6% loss of that. And then Tilly's was down about 1%. That was a pretty tight loss. Overall, I did make a little bit of money on this, but I basically went to cash here. So that's kind of the situation on the small portfolio. Here are the stocks that I currently own. I did add a position today. And that position was in GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which I did add to. It's up today. All the other positions are up except for Ford Motor, which is off slightly. So, this is sort of my lineup. I have quite a few fewer stocks. I have the QQQ Trust, that's up today. Ford down a little bit. Tilly's, of course, Tesla, that's up today. That seems to be strong. I've been moving my stop loss up on Tesla. Currently, I have my stop loss set at 1080 on Tesla, but that is looking fairly strong. Also on the grayscale Rambus, excuse me. I'm also in Rambus. That's up, just a little teddy tide. My real winner has been TTD. I continue to be very bullish on this stock. Also, I'm up a little bit on Nike. Of course, I have a bull call. I have a covered call on this one, where I purchased 100 shares and then I sold the call on this. So we'll see how that's doing. It's up a little bit, which is nice for that. So it seems to be handling very well. The thing about a covered call that's really great, of course, is that with a covered call, it can go sideways and you can still make money. And that's kind of how I see, at least for right now, that's sort of see how I see the market kind of going sideways. So hopefully I'll make money on that one. Apple, of course, it's up today. Then we have NVIDIA. That's been a good performer. I would love to add to NVIDIA, but I can't because it's too extended for me. And of course, GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And this is an ETF that has about 4% of the world's Bitcoin. So that kind of gives you the long and the short of that. And basically, we need to get into some questions. So here we go. Thank you for waiting. NEO, let's look reports on cars, maybe new models. A lot of people like NEO. I haven't really been that successful trading it, to be honest with you. I've really stuck more to Ford and Tesla, mainly Tesla. But it is below the 200-day line. I'd be a little bit careful buying it here. But definitely, you definitely could buy it. It's below the reversal line. I don't like that. But it has a relative strength of 31. So I'm not really that bullish on it, to be honest with you. I just don't think that at that level it's as good as I'd like to be. Let's see if I have any questions from TikTok. I said I don't have anything now. Oh, wait a minute. 63 guest requests. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, what's going on here? Let's see. Joined. Oh, right. Trying to figure out everything there on TikTok. All right, so let's go to the next question. Thank you very much, Mary. Let's look at Marvell. I think it's MRVL that you're talking about, the Marvell Semi. Let's take a look at Marvell Semi and pull that up on the screen as we speak. There we go. All right. So basically with Marvell, it's just moving very nicely up the It was moving very nicely up the 10-day line. Then it tested at the 25-day line. So that's at the 25-day moving out, 21-day moving average. Excuse me, the green line here. So it's looking pretty good. Let's just kind of look at I want to look at the technicals on this one, just to see how it is trading. Well, it's about up 17% from its pivot in 38 days. So that's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's looking very good. It's got a very strong checklist at 89%. Definitely like that. And the pattern rec is very good. So here's my only concern with it. It's in the number 2 ranked sector of the economy, which is excellent. This is semiconductor fabless. Really, the only thing I could say here is that it's definitely a good looking chart, but it is extended. So I don't know. I don't know if I would buy at this level. It looks like it's bounced. I would be careful. This stock is extended. That's sort of really my main. That's really my main concern here. Is this stock is a bit extended, and you have earnings in 3 days. So here's what I would do with this one, Mary, is I would probably wait until it comes to earnings. I just think that would be the best choice would wait for earnings on this one. It's looking very, very good. So what I would do with this one is I would watch list this one and wait for earnings to come through, and then possibly go into the the issue. So looking pretty darn good, but I don't want to buy it before earnings. Let's look at NVIDIA. Thank you, Rachel, very much. This is one I'm holding, of course, and I've been a sort of a bull on this one. I've gotten burned a few times. It's been hard to stay in this stock. I came into it on the 16th. I'm up a little bit, not a lot, but I'm up about $10. I definitely would like to buy more of this. I do think, though, that I want to kind of, it does seem like it's moving past this 320. It's sort of forming a sort of resistance here. It seems like the resistance level is sort of that's kind of where the resistance is, and that's at about 143. So basically, what I'd like to see happen, of course, is it move above about 340, and that would be possibly a good place possibly to enter it. It is, unfortunately, right now it is extended. This stock is extended, and it's extended from the 10-day line. So here's kind of what we have to probably do on this is right now it is over 5% above the 10-day lines. It's actually, well, no, not quite. Let's see if I can get it right. There we go. Yeah, it's 5.8% above the 10-day line, which means that it is extended in terms of the way I'd like to see it. You could possibly get another entry here if this was to pull back, probably to about 330 and then reverse. That's probably where you could buy it. I'm currently looking for a place I can add, as everything is looking very, very good on this. 98 relative strength, and it's a very, very strong stock. 100% checklist in one of the best categories. The only problem is for me to add here is difficult because it is extended. Now I'm hoping there will be a pullback to the 10-day, and then I could possibly add here, but I can't add as much as I would like due to the fact that we are really, really far extended above the 230.48 43 buy point. So that's kind of my take on it. Is I think you're going to have to wait a little bit. I think you're going to have to wait a bit for it to pull back to the 10-day line, and then at the 10-day line, then that might be a place that you could possibly get into the stock as well. Yeah, so it's so basically, if you're watching on TikTok and you want to take a look at at the charts and everything that I'm showing, very easy to do. Just go to bit.ly/DTF 431, and that'll take you right to the direct feed for that. All right, great. Let's look at Tesla. And of course, this is one of the other ones that's very, very strong. And of course, everybody knows I am still in Tesla, believe it or not. I have sold and bought back and sold, but I'm still in Tesla, believe it or not. Made a very nice bounce off the 21-day line. And I have my stop loss currently set at 1080. Currently, it's after hours trading at about 1136. Now, here's the thing with Tesla. You want to set your stop loss fairly tight because I suspect it is probably going to pull back a little bit. And, if you could just buy it as it bounces off the 21-day line and then sell it by pushing up your stop losses, that will help a lot. I currently have my stop loss set at 1080. So that's right where I have my stop loss. And that is probably the best area, I think, right now. Giving it a little bit of room, but not giving up giving up as little of the potential gain as possible. Just going through Tesla in general, it's got a strong checklist, 89%. That's excellent. Of course, the industry is number 4 out of 197, so that's excellent too. And in terms of the pattern recognition, this is the issue. It's up about 26% from the pivot. This is traditionally, by the way, If you're up more than 20% above the pivot, that's a kind of a sell signal. So this is why, now I'm not selling yet, but I'm pushing my stop loss up. So if it pulls back, I will get sold out. You typically want to start looking at possibly reducing your position when a stock is 20% above the pivot. That's very critical. So right now, it is 26% above the pivot, and so that's a pretty far way above the pivot. The original pivot for Tesla basically was $900.40, and it had been in that base for 188 days, almost half a year. So that is kind of where the correct buy point was. Now I did buy it at that time. I have bought it and sold it several times since then. So right now I'm keeping a pretty tight rein on this. I've set my stop loss at 1080, hoping that it won't violate that. But even if it does, it will be okay in terms of the in terms of the profitability. Let's look at ON Semiconductor. Interesting, great. By the way, the semiconductor fabless area has been a absolutely great area. I've been shaking out of several, NXP being one of them, but I'm still in NVIDIA. This is also doing very well on Semi, and of course I'm in Rambus. That's another one that has been doing very well. Unfortunately, this is extended to the correct buy point on this one, 44.59. Let's see if we can find something in this group. This is such a good group. Let me see if we can find something in this group that is setting up. Here's one that I'm very interested in. I have not played this one yet because it's an IPO and it has earnings in one day, but I want to bring this one up because I think this one could be an absolute winner. And it looks as if it's got earnings in one day. So this is one I'm very, very interested in right now. It's Global Foundries, and the symbol on it is GFS. Here's the reason I'm so interested in Global Foundries, GFS, is because it is a potential alternative to TSM, which is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. The interesting thing about GFS is it was originally the foundry for AMD. Now they sold that off and to a private equity firm. They have now put together a tremendous amount of capital, and these people are these are not a Johnny come lately company. They've been around a long time, and I think they have a real future. They IPO'd earlier this, basically in October. They formed their IPO base here, and I do believe that they have, with an RS rating of 98, that they are a potential buy. I've been waiting for this one to come through the earnings because I think that that's a critical thing. Now it has, as you can see, because it's so new, it hasn't really started. It isn't completely through the IPO cycle, but I do believe that this is good. It's got a relative strength of over 80%. I'm always looking for this. It's got earnings, it's got sales. So it's not, even though it's an IPO, it's not like a regular growth stock that doesn't have earnings. This one actually has earnings. And I want to show you, take a look at the fundamentals on this. It is still in a money-losing position, basically losing 6% this quarter. If this goes positive, this stock is likely to pop. Now, it was up in the first quarter 8% and the second quarter 23%. I believe that if they show a good number tomorrow, and that's going to be when they're going to be announcing, because it's the 30th, they're going to be announcing at the end of the day tomorrow. If they do that, then I think this one could be a very, very good buy. Now, here's the issue with this one. You don't want to buy it pre-earnings because it can pull back, and it can pull back hard. Right now, it's trading up into the earnings announcement. We will see where it's going. But this one, and I just kind of wanted to bring this to everybody's attention out here. It's a company called GFS. I don't normally like buying IPOs. This is not your normal IPO in that this company has been around. It's basically was AMD's foundry operation. was purchased by private equity, and now it's coming out as an IPO. And I do think it has a real future based on the fact that, there's so much political pressure on Taiwan right now from China that we may have an interruption in production from TSM, which is the world's largest foundry. And this one is, in Global Foundries, may be in a position to take up some of the slack. So we'll see what happens there. But that's kind of one that I wanted to point out to everybody. Jim, Altria Pharmaceuticals, could you please look at the charts? Absolutely. ATEA, I think that's it. Okay, unfortunately, this is probably my worst area is in pharma, but ATEA, this is one of the, okay, ATEA. I'm just trying to pull this up right now. Okay, unfortunately, I can't find this one. Let me see if I can do some little bit of sleuthing here to see if I can come up with the correct symbol for that. So let me just look at it real quick. It's ATEA Pharma. Let's see if I can come up with AVIR. Okay, great. Let's put that up. AVIR. And take a look at this one. Look at a pretty messy chart here. Looking at the weekly, it seems, it's got a relative strength of 1. Yeah, this just is not a good stock. No, absolutely not. This is a poor stock, unfortunately. So here's what I would do with this one, Harris. This isn't even worth watch listing. This is essentially, just avoid this stock. Yeah, this unfortunately is a very bad chart, and it's got the lowest possible. It has the lowest possible relative strength rating. So I think the best thing to do on this one, ATEA Pharma, is to avoid it completely. This is a very, very bad chart, and I just don't think it's going to work. It's probably going to work. So that's what I would do. I would avoid the stock completely. Let's look at SOS. See if there's anything there. SOS, China-based company, dollar stock, penny stock. Wow, I just wouldn't. No, I just would avoid this one as well. This one I would avoid this. This is not going to give you a good result. It's trading below that 200-day moving average. So I just don't think this is a good one. You probably want to avoid that as well. So, hey, thank you very much. We're notifying buyers that you're live. Thank you very much, by the way, TikTok. Is Saba, that's interesting, worth the risk? Interesting. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to start doing some more. I haven't been doing a lot of stuff on crypto, but I want to start kind of getting more into crypto because I know that a lot of people have been interested in it. I'm becoming more interested. I did buy a position in GBTC today. So let's kind of let's take a look at some crypto stuff. And by the way, everyone can do this. I'm just looking here. Hopefully this will, there we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go over here to crypto and let's see if I can. Look at some of the cryptocurrencies out there. So I think it is kind of interesting. Now, of course, everybody's familiar with Bitcoin, and of course that is the number one. But we were looking at Cebu Ibu. I can't remember the name of that one. But let's go to that one because I'm kind of interested in that. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. I don't own it. There we go. Okay, so let's kind of look at this one. It's very and it's been trending up. I mean, this one has been trending up. It actually has a kind of an amazing market cap when you think about it. It's it it has been trending up. So let's kind of take a look, see if we could kind of look at it here. There we go. So basically, I do kind of see this. There we go. Yeah, it's just an incredibly cheap one, as you can see. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this yet. I probably will be getting back to you on this one. It just seems to be very, I don't know. It just seems to be kind of volatile. So I'm really sticking right now in crypto to basically Bitcoin and Ethereum, and with possibly looking at Tether. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. I don't unfortunately really have a good. Okay, we cannot hear you. Okay, Okay, I don't know why you can't hear me. That's interesting. So we cannot hear you. All right, why is that the case? I don't know. I'm looking to see. Let me do this. Let me take it out of the cradle. Maybe my guard is covering it, which that might be the thing. There we go. So hopefully this will work now. We'll get a better there we go. Let's see if that works. Okay. Heck. All right. So hopefully you can hear me now. And that will be better on this. All right, so let's get back to the questions. Thanks for holding there. All right, any opinion on Etsy? Let's look at Etsy here. Let's see. Well, it's starting to move nicely. It's tested, so that's a good thing. Here's the thing with Etsy. We came above that consolidation at 251, so that's the pivot. Definitely is beyond the buy zone. It is moving up to the 10-day line, but it has pulled back. This is not necessarily a bad place to buy it. It is extended. Etsy is extended, but I don't like the looks of this RS line. So, tough one to say here. Relative checklist, pattern recognition. Let's kind of see. Up about 12% in less than 25 days. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Boy, I don't know what to say about that. It's retail internet. It's not in the greatest of categories. I would probably watch this one, Brian. I probably would watch this one right for now. It looks pretty good, but I am a little bit concerned about some of the things I'm seeing there. Let's look at Zillow. Hopefully, some of you took advantage of the bear put spread that I have on Zillow. Doing quite well on that, by the way. Let's kind of check in on Zillow. This is one I've been shorting, and currently it's trading at 54.08. So let's kind of see. Let's kind of check in on that to see if there's something there that we could see. Now, I did have a trade on this one. So let me go to that quickly. I'm going to have to go over because I didn't have this loaded. I should have had this loaded in on my slides, but let's see if I can get this one up here. All right. Go down here, and there we go. All right. So just do that. Okay. So basically, what's going on here is if you're in on the the bear put spread on Zelo. This is sort of kind of the chart that kind of gives us an idea of, what the value should be. Currently, it closed at 54.26, of course, which is less than the spread. So if we go down here to 54 and we move across, we're going to see, and this is going to be at about the November 30th, so right about here. So currently, we're right about here in terms of in terms of the value, about 209 for the spread for each contract that you're in this one. So I'm going to continue holding this, hopefully until about the February timeframe. If that's the case, this should make about $789 by that time. So Zelo, you don't want to be in Zelo long, but being in Zelo short is not a bad idea. CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike just has been having issues. I don't know why, but it definitely has been having some issues regarding everything. So let's pull up the chart for CrowdStrike. There we go. And CrowdStrike is not buyable at this point. It has fallen below that 200-day line. I did buy it as it moved up to the buy point, and then I was sold out of it when it pulled back. I just think that it's having an issue. Not a good place to be bought. Not a good place to be in CrowdStrike right now. Just not looking good. I'd be very careful with this one, even though it isn't a great group. Computer software security. Zscaler has been the one really to be in, and I'm not in either of these, unfortunately. Wish I was. But ZS has been the one that has the best chart. So here's what I would say. The earnings are in 2 days on Zscaler. I just think that you got to wait until earnings on Zscaler. So I can't really, but in terms of the computer software security area, Zscaler is the place to be. And I do think that, that's the one. It's up 54% from the pivot about 3 months ago. So Zscaler is doing the best of them all. And unfortunately, I don't have it. So anyways, so that is my take on that. VTRX, is it breaking out? Well, probably not. My guess is on a day like today, I would very much doubt it, but we can check. Breakout or not. Vertex Pharma. No, this is not a breakout, not by any stretch of the imagination. This is a downward trend, by the way. If you'll notice, it's below the 200-day line right there. That's that black line, so that's not good. So this is not a breakout. It is in a downward trend. I would not buy this. It is not looking good. So, basically what I would say here is, not a breakout. Don't buy it. Just don't buy this one. This is not a breakout stock. It has a downward trend. Oops. It has a downward trend. Notice it's going down. It's going from Seattle to Miami. Seattle's up here. Miami's down here. So it is in a downward trend. This is not a buyable stock. Also, if you'll notice, this was its high. It made its high back here, basically in June of 2020. It has been downward on the downward slope ever since. So I would not recommend for this. You won't always buy a stock as it's moving higher. That, unfortunately, is not the case with Vertex. I wish it were, but it is not. It is not. Great. Let's look at the GBTC. This is one I did buy today. I may have regretted it, but I did buy it. I am starting to get a lot more interest in crypto, and this is a good way to own crypto, at least for me, because it allows me to own crypto in my IRA, which is a good thing. This is holds about 4% of the world's Bitcoin, and I did buy it today as it got support, basically at the 10-day line, basically at the 10 and the 21-day line. That's where I bought it. So hopefully I'm not going to be out. Now it's fallen a little bit. I bought it at 47.43. Currently, it's at 47.18, so it's down slightly on that news. But it does have some things that I do like on it. I do think it's reversing here. This is a very, very early buy. I'm buying it below the reversal line. This is not a good practice, by the way, folks. It's best to wait until this thing moves above the reversal line. But I did buy it a little bit early. Hopefully, we'll get some strength tomorrow as inflation becomes more of an issue. This is an ETF that holds 4% of the world's Bitcoin. So I do believe we're going to see some strengthening in here, but we'll see, because this has been tough. I think that it's got support right at the 40-day line. Hopefully, I'm right on this, and we'll see. Relative strength is 94. These are basically the changes in terms of the percentages up. It's been up 200% basically every quarter in terms of its price. 3 quarters ago it was 27. 2 quarters ago 32 and 40 right now. So it's still looking pretty strong in terms on the year. Now we'll see how it finishes the year. But we've got about a month to go in the year, so we'll see how it finishes it. But I do like it, and I do have it in my own account, so that's definitely something that you want to take a look at. Upstart has been doing, unfortunately, very poorly. And that is something of concern because I just don't know if it's going to get any support. This is a classic round trip. It went up, and then down, and it's just, I don't know. This is a tough one. We had great earnings, but yet the chart looks terrible. So I don't know. I don't know what to say on Upstart. I'm not in it, and I think that it's best to be cautious here. It is still trading above the 200-day line. It's got a relative strength of 99, which is fantastic. But if you notice, it's just totally given back all of its gains. Basically, it was at 491. It's currently at 213. So I just think that we may see some continued weakness. It may fall below 200. And if it does, then we could be in a situation. So right now, I just think you got to be very, very cautious. Right now, the market seems to be, I don't know if it's topping out or not, but it just seems to be, not doing as well. It just is. I just have a sneaking suspicion that we might be on kind of a collision course to the market pulling back a little bit because we've had some distribution days, and even though it's up today, I think I'm starting to move into cash. We will see about how the market moves, but I'm definitely moving into cash here, just because I think that we have a situation where it may get more dicey here. So that's definitely something that we got to be super duper careful of. All right. So hopefully everybody can hear me. I got a comment that you can't hear the live, so don't quite know what's going on there, and that's on TikTok. So I'm not sure exactly what's up there. All right. Paul is asking about KNX. Let's take a look at KNX. Let's see. Okay, so this is the trucking firm. The trucking firms have been doing well, actually. And it's in a good group, 8 out of 197. So definitely a strong group. The question is it viable here? Well, it's right. It's just slightly extended, but so that isn't bad. I mean, it's got a 100% checklist, and it does look pretty good. Trucking firms are being able to sort of write their own ticket these days for once. So yeah, I definitely think this is viable. Absolutely. Good. This is a good get here. I think this one is viable, actually. And I don't say that, normally, but it is looking very good, actually. It is looking very, very good. So I think this, finally, now that I'm now that I look at this one, I think probably that this is viable. So this stock is viable right now. And I definitely think that's the case. I definitely think that's the case with this one. So very interesting with the way it's. Oops, that's not the right one. But I think this stock is viable right now. I think it really is viable right now. It's a little tiny bit extended, but it's right at the 21-day line. That's a very good action. And I just want to take a look and see exactly how it's closed. Yeah, it's basically right on the 10-day moving average. It's right on the 21-day moving average. This is not a bad place to buy the stock. It's viable right now at this level. So here's what I want to do. I kind of want to put down on my list here. I'm going to put this one down because I like this. KNX. I did. Let's see. So I have a question. Oh, going to have to ignore that call. All right. So sorry about that to that person. All right. Next question. This is probably going to be the last one. We're almost going to be a little short today, but let's take a look. Thank you very much for coming in here. All right, let's look at Facebook. Of course, this is called Metaverse. And let's just take a look at Facebook. Still in a downward trend on Facebook. So this one basically is showing that it can go above it's still pretty weak. I would be careful. I would wait on this one. It's got a relative strength of 65. I think you're going to want, I think the best thing to do in this one right now is to, I would be watch listing this. I would be watching this one for now. So that's kind of where I would, that's kind of where I would do it. I would watch list this one for now. I do think this is a good stock. It's just the fact that I don't like this chart pattern as much as it is above the reversal line. It is above the 200-day line. It is above the 40-day line. So those are all good things. I just kind of want to see if it can hold this level. It's got an 89 checklist. It is 12% above the pivot, and it's in the internet content area, which is a good area. But I just think you need to watch this one a little bit for right now. So that's kind of my take on it as we speak. Well, let's see. Did I get to everybody? I hope I did. Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. Thank you very much for taking a look today. By the way, if you're not already on the Action Trade Alerts, super easy to do, and it's free. By the way, we put out some good trades on this one. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor, and that's free, by the way. We did put out the covered call on Nike. Oh, by the way, we should take a look at that just to kind of see how that's progressing. Nike NKE. It's going to kind of look at this. Look at this chart for Nike. It looks like it has gotten support at the 21-day line. That's definitely what we wanted to see. And it looks like it's moving up from 170. So this looks like it's fairly. It looks like it's doing fairly well. And we did have the covered call on this one for everybody who was on the Action Trade Alerts. So I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a very nice Thanksgiving. I'll be back tomorrow at about 3:30, right after the market closes, and with your questions. If you want to take a look at the charts on this, just go to bit.ly/DTF431. That will show you the exact link to the show. And without further ado, everybody, hopefully having a great day and happy trading. Be careful in this market. I am sensing a change in the general overall market direction. So we've got to be careful. Don't put on too many positions right now. Kind of take a wait-see attitude. But I'll be back tomorrow at 3:30 after the market closes. Happy trading.